mentors have taught me. And John Maxwell is one of my mentors, Les Brown, a guy named Rory Baden, Mr. Dunsmore, and Jesus Christ. I mean, I spend time with these guys, regularly, and I learn from them. I take notes, meditate on some of the teachings, because I want to be the best at what I do. And I know that I have a responsibility. And it's not where somebody came down and just ordained you are a leader. I know that once I accepted Christ into my heart, I became a leader. I mean, I became a leader for others so that they'll know what it means to be a Christian. And I've had the privilege of really living out some of these three principles. And really, I mean, there's like hundreds, but I tried to really encapsulate three that really meant a lot to me. And the first principle that I learned is that a servant leader is a master. I'm going to fix this. Write this down. Is a key connector. You're probably asking, what is a key connector? Well, let me tell you what a key connector is. A key connector is someone that possesses a key that they give to someone else to help them unlock the passion and dreams and potential that someone else has in their life. I found my key connector when I was just 8 years old. You see, I was a little girl from the other side of town. I was raised by two women, my mother and my grandmother, two very scorned black women. They were almost like the Gloria Steinems of the day, because they were, their husbands left them, they were just mad. So they were going to make sure that I got a good education and that I was not going to depend on a man for anything. And so they sent me, they worked two jobs to send my sister and I to a private school on the ritzy side of town. And I'm from St. Louis, it was called Ladue. It sounds ritzy. So we would take the public transportation, I was in second grade, took the public transportation to this area of town. And I was the only little black girl in my class. And I remember one day, a little girl named Valerie asked me to come over and play. She was my friend. I said, oh no, I couldn't come over to play because I don't have transportation home. The bus stop's running at 6 o'clock. She goes, oh, don't worry, my mom drives carpool. I was like, carpool? What's carpool? That's when we all share rides and come back and forth in the neighborhood. I said, oh, okay. I said, but can you bring me home after? Yes. So I said, perfect. So I asked my mother, and the next day I went home with Valerie. And I'll never forget this because I pull up into her subdivision. I've never seen a subdivision, but there were these beautiful homes with these beautiful lime trees with perfectly manicured yards, and it was like the Emerald City. And I remember pulling up, and they had little speed bumps and little speed horses. I said, what in the world are those things? I'm just looking, and we pulled up into her driveway and go into the home, and her mother was baking cookies, and all I could smell was an aroma. I said, what is that smell? She said, no, my mom's baking cookies. I said, we have Chips Ahoy and Oreo in my house. I don't know what baked cookies smell like. So I just remember walking in here and going to her room. She had a canopy bed and dust bowls with all these frilly things, and she had the Barbie townhouse, a Barbie beach bus, and everything you can imagine, airplane, everything. So I was just in heaven. I was like, this is so cool. She had her own bathroom off of her bedroom and carpeting. I said, this is like a fairy tale. She's like a princess. Then all of a sudden, I heard this booming voice, Daddy's home, and they just take off running down the stairs to meet Mr. Dunsmore, Valerie's dad. And so I just kind of sheepishly kind of went down and walked down with them, and I was kind of peeking around the side, and I saw him hugging his daughters, and they were in his arms. I'd never seen a man in a suit before, and he just looked so distinct. He was a very handsome white gentleman with a suit on, and he was just so well appointed. I just kept looking at him, and I said, wow. So then he saw me peeking, and he said, well, who do we have here? And I said, my name is Angela. And he said, well, welcome to our home, Angela. It's so nice to have you in our home. He said, here, come sit down next to me. Come tell me about yourself. I said, well, Valerie and I are best friends. And he said, oh, yeah, that's great. And so all I could think of asking him was, Mr. Dunsmore, what do you do for a living? Because I knew he was an important man because he had a business suit on. And, I saw his home. And I said, what do you do for a living? And he says, well, I'm a businessman. I said, well, how do you get to be a businessman? And he said, well, hard to go to school, get good grades, and just be the best in anything you do. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't be the best in anything, because they're going to tell you that you can't. They're lying to you. Don't you listen to them. But you don't have to be a businessman. You can be anything you want to be. I said, whoa. Something, my heart started beating fast, and I just couldn't believe it. And something sparked in my spirit that day, in my heart, and that man had given me the key to hope and a dream for my future. And he gave me a way that I could do it. It was just simply me working hard and being the best that I can be in everything. I felt like I had just won the lottery. He took me home that day, and I was kind of embarrassed because my house looked like a barn on stilts. So they drove me home, and I said, drop me off down the street. Just go, keep going. No, yeah, that's my house. I found the best looking house I could, but it still didn't look that nice. And they wouldn't leave. I'm like, go ahead. That's fine. I was walking slow, and they just kept waiting around. I'm like, okay, you leave now. So they finally left, and I just remember just being so happy. And people would say, why are you so happy? I said, because you just don't know what I know. I have a secret to success and everything, And so they said, well, I don't know how you think you know that. I said, don't worry about it. So I just, from then on, I went on to a private all-girls college prep school. It was mostly predominantly white school. I was student council, class queen, and class president. Did not miss a beat. Went on to the University of Tulsa. Finished up at Lindenwood University when I came back home. But it was just that vision that man had given me. So you know what? We're all key connectors. Every one of us in this room has the key that they can give someone else that would give them a hope and a dream. And Mr. Dunsmore, he never knew what impact he had on my life. You never know what impact you have on other people's lives. A smile, a hug, or just atta girl, atta boy, I believe in you, words of encouragement, things like that. That's what servant leadership is about. Mr. Dunsmore didn't know me from Adam. I was some little kid that happened to be in his house that day. I mean, he could have had a long day, was tired, didn't have time to be bothered. But he took the time to pour into me just for a few moments, and it made a lasting impact on my life. So this is one of the principles I learned from John Maxwell. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that, when I heard John Maxwell say that to me years ago, I immediately thought of Mr. Dunsmore and what he'd done for me. Because it wasn't about, he first cared about me, okay, and then he shared with me. So, first key, principle, be a key connector for someone. The second principle